Hello, I'm Ivan Goncharov, an immigration lawyer. In this video, I'll explain how you can access personal data stored about you in the Schengen Information System, SIS II, specifically if the alert was issued by Austria. If you've been refused a visa or entry into the Schengen zone and suspect that your name is listed in the SIS II database, this is the step-by-step guide you need. Let's begin with an important point. Under Austrian data protection law, your right to access information is fundamentally direct. That means you don't have to go through a third party or intermediary. You send your request straight to the authority that controls your data, usually the police or the Federal Crime Office, known as the Bundeskriminalamt. They are responsible for processing SIS II data, including entries related to immigration bans, alerts, or refusal of entry. Now, what should your request include? According to Austrian law, specifically the Data Protection Act of 2000, you must submit a written request. The controller is required to respond only if the request is written and if you also confirm your identity, typically by providing a copy of your ID or passport. The information you receive must include several key elements: the exact data that's been recorded, the source of that data if available, a list of authorities or groups who've received your data, the legal basis for the data being processed, and at your request, even the names and addresses of third-party processors. But there are exceptions. In some cases, Austrian authorities can refuse to disclose your information. For example, if doing so would jeopardize public safety, harm foreign policy interests, interfere with a criminal investigation, or expose sensitive national defense matters. They can also withhold information if it would affect the rights or interests of other individuals. Even if no data is actively being used against you, Austrian law still requires the controller to respond and clearly state that none of your data has been processed. This refusal must be documented and can be appealed. If you're not satisfied with the reply, or if you get no reply at all within 8 weeks, you can escalate the matter to the Austrian Data Protection Authority or Datenschutzbehörde. The authority is located at Hohenstaufengasse 3 in Vienna. You can also reach them by phone or email. They are responsible for reviewing whether the refusal to share data is justified. If they find that public interest doesn't actually justify the secrecy, they can order disclosure. And if the controller still disagrees, they may take it further to the Federal Administrative Court. Now, regarding costs, if it's your first request of the year and the data is current, the information is free of charge. However, if it's a repeated request or additional effort is required, a fee of 18.89 euros may apply. But even that fee must be refunded if it turns out your data was inaccurate and had to be corrected. Austrian law also protects you from data being quietly deleted during this process. Once the controller knows a request has been submitted, they are not allowed to destroy any related data for at least 4 months, and longer if you file an appeal. And a final note. Although Austria recognizes German as the official language for this process, the forms are also available in English, and it's possible to initiate communication in English, especially when accessing SIS II entries. Still, it's always good practice to use German for formal submissions. To summarize, if you believe you're listed in SIS II due to an Austrian decision, you have the right to request access, demand clarity, and even correct or delete the data. You're protected by both Austrian and EU law, and you are not alone in this process. If you need help drafting your request, reviewing your case, or appealing a refusal, I can support you professionally through each step. Thank you for watching and stay informed.